Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. So today I want to go over a recap of my Honda Pioneer build. So let me show you what I went from to where it is now. So now that you see that we got way more lift with way bigger tires, let's walk around and let's talk about it. So for those of you wondering, I've gone through and I actually did some pre-measurements. So I went from this bolt here to the bottom of my 1/2 inch skid plate. I started at 14 7/8 inch and I ended up at 21 7/8 inch. So now if we walk around to the front, see how much ground clearance we got there. I'm going to tell you right now it's 7 inches all the way around. Now I didn't measure from the bottom of the bumper. I measured from right here. I went from 25 7/8 to 32 7/8. So looking down, that's not the bottom, that's up here. But what a lot of people want to know is, what's the back look like? Well, again, I didn't measure from the very bottom. I measured from right here, this bottom lip of the hitch. Now, the skid plate sits down just a little bit lower, but I ended up with 23 3/8 inches right here. So yes, I have just over 20 inches of ground clearance, and this thing is a beast. So how does it drive? Well, it drives awesome. I love it. Everywhere I go, I get thumbs up. I'm grinning ear to ear. This is probably the most exciting, most fun mod I've ever done to my Pioneer. This thing just rides great. But with that extra leverage, having a really wide front end and the big tires, it did soften up the front shocks a little bit. So I might have to adjust that just a smidge. But honestly, I really like it. It's like driving a Cadillac. So, steering, that's another big thing I was asking. It's about the same. Believe it or not, the Honda steering, super powerful. Now, if you're trying to turn these things from a standstill, you gotta put no muscle into it, but you can definitely feel it's working. But when you're driving, it's almost like driving a lifted truck. And for those people out there who have lifted a Jeep or a truck, you get more of a floaty feel. It is definitely not that planted feel I had when I had my truck tires. So now that we're on tires, let's talk about that. I'm running a 35 inch by 10 inch wide on a 15 inch rim, System 3 XCR 350. So this is a UTV specific tire. Max PSI on this thing is 18. I'm currently running 14. So these things don't actually measure out at 35 inches. If you go to the website for System 3 tires, they measure out at 34.6 inches. And that's plenty. So I'm running a really big tire. How's my rubbing? Well, I rub a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. And it's right before full lock, the tires will rub. Passenger side worse than the driver, but as you can see, there's a little bit of room in there. Now I did learn on the trails I rub a lot more under compression, but again, I'm okay with that. So let's talk about these tires just a little bit more. I really do like the tires, but going from a truck tire to a UTV tire was a big eye-opener for me. One, these things don't balance nearly as well as automotive tires. I know they're DOT rated, but let me tell you what, they're not the same. And I forgot about that. So these tires, I actually had to send one back to Rocky Mountain ATV because it took 12 ounces of weight. Not acceptable. Rocky Mountain ATV stepped up, they said send it back. System 3 stepped up, said send it back. So I got a replacement. If you look at the profile of these tires, it is rounded. So this is supposed to be more of a flat truck tire. When I emailed System 3 on this issue, they said, hey, these are supposed to be flat, why is it rounded? They said it's actually easier for the components and the design this way. Don't worry about it. But that was a concern of mine. For those of you wondering about what does the tire weigh, well, let's go through it. So the stock rear tire that I have laid around here on my home bathroom scale was 44.6 pounds. That's the rear tire, it's the wider one, it's the bigger one. The tires that I took off this that are about 28.5 inches was 51.6 pounds. So just shy of 52 pounds. That's a pretty stout tire. Now those are truck tires, so they have a stiffer sidewall, but they balanced out great. They rode great. No regrets there. Now, what do these big tires weigh? Well, same rim, but with the tire, 71.2 pounds a piece. So yeah, that's a lot of unsprung weight. And you think you got all the gear with the portal and the hub and stuff. I added about 100 pounds to every single corner. The beauty of it is it's all unsprung weight. It's down low. I didn't add anything to make this thing top heavy, so my ride doesn't feel way off balanced. Now, anyone who's driven a Pioneer knows that they're always just a little bit top heavy. They're extremely tall. I am right now about 7 foot tall at the highest point. Now, I'm sure some people are going, what about the power loss? Well, there is none. There's absolutely zero. Now, I'm not talking because I have a tune on here. I'm talking because I am under geared. What does that mean? So stock on this thing was 66 miles an hour top speed. When I put my truck tires on there, it was a little bit taller sidewall. I get 68 miles an hour top speed per the GPS. So what about these 34.6 inch tall tires? Top speed 59 miles an hour. Yep, you heard it. It's down. So with these tires on here and a 30% gear reduction, it's like I'm running a 24.5 inch tall tire. If I wanted to be back to stock gearing, I'd have to put a 38 inch tall tire in there. Now that would look awesome, but also wouldn't fit in my garage. I already rubbed the roof right now. If I wanted to go any taller, I'd have to get rid of the factory roof. That'd give me 2 inches and probably do a 4 inch chop. So when I went out on my trail ride the other day, I was asked a couple questions that were pretty genuine. One is, what's the next component I think is going to break on this Pioneer? Honestly, it's probably the ball joints. I don't know how long I've had these ball joints in. I know I replaced one last summer, and the other ones are the original I put in, the Super ATV forward A-arms. So, what am I going to do? Well, ball joints are cheap. I can get a ball joint for under $20, the OEM Honda stuff. I always keep an upper and lower with me. Maybe I'll keep 2. I don't know. The next thing is I can upgrade those to the Super ATV ball joints, but man, those things are expensive. They're over $250 for a set of 4, when I can get a set of 4 of these for under 80 bucks shipped to my door. So I don't know what I'm gonna do there. The next question I was asked is, am I worried about the steering rack? No, honestly. Now my steering rack has a little bit of play in it, but I had some play in it before I put this lift on there. I mean, I'm pushing 3,000 miles on this machine, and I 4-wheel it. So no, I'm not worried about the steering rack. I can get a brand new steering rack for around $200, and that's an OEM Honda one. Or RB3 makes a billet aluminum steering rack. So all in all, how do I like it? I love it. I absolutely love it. I wish I would have done it a year ago. This is what I always wanted. A side-by-side on 35-inch tall tires, but I'm stock geared. How can you not like that? And for those of you wondering, oh, you lost functionality. No, I didn't. Yes, I am wider. I am 8 inches wider than the stock Pioneer. I'm running like 74 inches wide, but I'm also in Arizona. And yeah, I'm gonna get up in those woods. I'm gonna have some tight trails, and there's gonna be some things I can't do. But it's a trade-off I'm willing to have. And honestly, I didn't buy a 50-inch wide machine for that reason. Towings, you know, I move my trailer all the time with my Pioneer. Well, I can still do that. My suspension didn't change. That's the beauty with the portals. All the weight is down low. It's in the wheel. It's unsprung weight. You don't have to change any of your suspension geometry. Now, like I said earlier, my front is a little softer, but that's because I have a little bit more leverage. That's an easy fix. A couple clicks and a rebound, compression, whatever I need to do, no biggie. But now that I'm under geared, it'll actually move my trailer just a little bit easier. Now my speedometer is off. It says I'm doing 66 miles an hour and I'm doing 59. And the problem is it's not an exact number. It's progressive. It starts at a couple miles an hour off all the way up, you know, to 7 miles an hour off. But I don't typically drive more than 25 miles an hour through the neighborhood. If I'm getting on the road, it's usually 40, 45 miles an hour. I didn't buy this thing for speed. I wanted to be able to do 55 miles an hour top end if I ever had to go somewhere, and it still can, and it still rides very smooth. The tires are great for that. I do have them balanced. So would I do this again? Absolutely, I would. I love it. I love the looks of it. I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't go down to 33s, and I wouldn't do a 6-inch portal lift. If I had a second machine, I might. But right now, I got what I always wanted. 4-inch portal lift on 35s. It rides great. Yeah, I gotta deal with a little extra maintenance. I got a little tire rub. Not a big deal to me. I mean, look at the Pioneer. It looks like a blue Tonka truck that's life size. So don't forget to comment below what you think. I know it's not for everybody, but let me tell you what, it's for me. I love the looks. My kids love going for rides. I've put over 100 miles on this thing in just the first week of having it completed. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and until next time. Okay, I just drove about 7 miles at 50 miles an hour. Let's see if the camera's showing that. My rear portal is around 88 degrees, 86. Let's check the front. Go towards the bottom. So it's 70. 68, and this other rear one. $76.